Hey guys, it is Friday, November 17th, and sorry that I couldn't be there with you today. So you can choose to follow this video if you would like to help you through the notes, or if you want to go through the notes yourself, watch this video after, whatever you feel like you do. I just want to remind you that you should have handed in your take-home number 3, and you should write down your homework from the sideboard. So on Monday, I'll be checking both homeworks. Excellent. So we're going to continue our journey of writing equations of lines. Today we're going to talk about a second type of equation for a line, and it's called point-slope form. All right? And when you have point-slope form, okay, what you identify is a point and the slope. So all you need to write the equation of a line is one point and a slope. Okay? And it's in this form that I just highlighted for you. All right? And if you notice, you'll see the two arrows, or the three, I'm sorry, that shows you where you only do the substituting in of values. And in point-slope form, all you have to do is just leave it like that, and that's fine. And that would be your equation. And anytime it's in that form, you know that you can plot the point and you can find the other set of points using the slope that's given. So I'm going to show you how you would write the equation. So on my first example, okay, I have write an equation to the line that passes through the point 7, 2 and has a slope of -3. All right, so I'm going to write the standard in blue. Okay, so I'm going to write what is always there. That is what does not change. And in red, I'm only going to substitute in the values. So it goes y minus y1, which is 2, equals m, which is -3 because that's the slope, and x minus 7 because that's the x1. And that's it. That's all you do. You don't touch it. You leave it like that. That is point-slope form. Nothing else you need to do. All right, so on the exercises below, you can choose to pause if you would like to go through them yourself. All right, or you can watch me do them, whatever you want to do. All right, I am going to start the last one because that's important. That's a little tricky. So when we talk about number 1, y minus the y value is m times x minus the x value. And that's it. All you're doing is substituting in x1, y1, and m. For number 2, y minus your y value equals your slope times x minus the x value given. Now those are easy because you're dealing with mostly positive values. So what's different with the third one, which I starred, is that your y value is now -3. Okay, so what should we do if your y value is -3? It's not going to be minus -3. We're going to change this, okay, and we're going to make it y plus 3. Okay, so when you have a plus, that actually means that your y value is negative. Okay, so you are going to need to do that. I don't want my double negatives. Okay, so if it's minus a negative number, you're just going to put a plus sign. So that's nice because I gave you the slope. But what happens if I take the slope away? All right, we talked about last year, a couple weeks ago, yesterday, how you find the slope of 2 points. So all you're going to do is you're going to find the slope of the line. Okay, so using the 2 points, you're going to find the slope. So that's the change in y divided by the change in x, 6 over 2, which becomes 3. Okay, my slope is 3. I pick one of the points. Pick one. Doesn't matter which one, okay? Doesn't matter. All right. I would try to pick the one with the least amount of negatives so you don't have to mess up. I'm just going to pick the first point. Again, it doesn't matter. Y minus 4 is your slope times x minus 1. Okay. And for those of you who picked the other one, I'll show you what it would look like if you picked the other point. Okay. Again, it does not matter. So, how can you rearrange your point slope form to look like your slope intercept, which is your y equals? And if you remember, I actually gave you one like this on your last quiz. Most of you got it right, except some of you had trouble distributing the negative. So how do you go from slope intercept, okay? So I'm going to take this slope intercept, the top one. I'm going to go from point slope to slope intercept. All I'm going to do, get y alone, distribute the 3, add the 4, y equals 3x plus 1. There's your slope intercept form. Okay. So technically, if you have 2 points, you can find the slope, put it in point slope form, transform it to slope intercept form. Maybe that's a little bit easier than what we did yesterday. It's totally up to you. So again, all you need to do is distribute the slope, add or subtract to get y alone, and that will bring you to your slope intercept form. Okay? Now again, that's only going from point slope to slope intercept. All right. Exercise 2. If you want to try this, try it. So pause your video. Okay. So I want point slope, and I want slope intercept. So I'm going to do, well, it doesn't matter. Well, this is hard. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right. Point slope. I'm going to find the slope. Down 3. Right 2 is the slope. So I'm going to use one of the points. I'm going to use this point. Y minus 2 equals negative 3 halves times x minus 2. Okay? I like to use the one without the negatives. Now, point slope, I could distribute the 3 halves x if I wanted to. I'm actually just going to look at the graph, the y-intercept. So m is negative 3 halves, and the y-intercept is 5. I'm just going to do that because I think that's a little bit faster way, because I can tell what the y-intercept is on the graph. And there we go. All right, 6. Do it both. So the first thing I have to do, no matter what, is to find the slope. Again, pause your video if you are going to do this yourself. So 7 over negative 3. Oh, what a lovely slope. All right, point slope. Pick a point. I'm going to pick the first one. Doesn't matter. Y minus 3 equals negative 7/3 x minus 6. Okay, now why did I put negative 7/3 and not 7 over negative 3? It's the same thing. Okay, so slope intercept. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to distribute. So that becomes positive 42/3. Leave it that way. I'm going to add 3. So y equals 7, negative 7/3 x. Okay, 42/3 plus 3. Okay. So that's going to be 42/3 plus 9/3, which is 51/3. Okay. You may have some trouble if you tried to put it in your calculator. That was a doozy. That was a little tricky. Okay, maybe you simplified the improper fraction, whatever, that's fine. So that kind of concludes the point slope form. And it was really quick. If you need to go back, look in your textbook, whichever, rewatch the video, watch another video on this yourself. Okay. The last two questions are just kind of what I've taken from Regents exams. All right. And they're both talking about equations of lines. So take a minute to answer exercise 3. So I want you to pause the video. Then when you're done, press play and I'll give you the answer. Okay, so exercise 3, each day, Tony records the height of a plant for her science lab. Her data is shown. Plant continues to grow at a constant daily rate. Write an equation, h of n. Constant. That means it's a line. So when we're coming up with equations of line, we need your slope and the y-intercept. So the slope, change in y over change in x. So the x's are increasing by 1, the y's are increasing by 1.5, so your slope is 1.5. And I'm going to use n instead of x, because that's the variable they gave me. Now, what am I starting at? If you look in the table, 0 is your y-intercept. So if I go back 1, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to end up at 1.5. So I'm going to do it that way. Maybe you had a different way, which is okay. You can always plot the line, use the slope, finish it out, whatever. All right, exercise 4. So pause your video and go through. All right, so exercise 4 is asking what the meaning of the slope and the y-intercept in terms of the function. So basically, what is going on? What do they represent? Okay, yeah, we know slope means rate of change. That's great. But what does it mean when you're in terms of this gym membership? Okay, so your slope, 50M, would be $50 per month. You're going to pay $50 every month. Okay, and now your y-intercept. The y-intercept is when you start. Okay, it's where you start. So what does it mean when we start? Okay, if you think about, I don't know if you've ever owned a gym membership, it's a flat fee. Okay, it could be your startup costs, you know, anything before what you have to pay. It's just your flat fee. Okay, anything with your y-intercept is the flat rate. It's a one-time fee, anything like that. Okay, and again, these two questions were Regents questions. They were worth 2 points each, so if you got them right, good for you. All right, that concludes today. Sorry for the long video. When you're done, you can put your phones away. If you are done, you could also grab a textbook and work on the homework if that's what you choose. You could go online, get the online textbook. All right, and that is that. Have a great weekend.